Hello, Team Absolution fans, and welcome back to Cardfight Cash. It is Premium Week with me, your boy, the Doombringer Griffin, and here's a brief recap of all of the big changes and key cards in the premium market that you need to know about to survive the next 2 weeks, because it's going to be a big one. We are only a month, or a little bit less than a month at time of airing, away from Premium Collection, and that means the meta is going to change considerably. Not to mention, Bermuda has been out for a couple of weeks now, and EBO 6 and then EBO 7 are right on the horizon in English. So here's what you need to know to prepare for those things and keep track of the market in general. And we're going to start with BT01, the original, the many years ago, the OG. Battle Sister Coco is $8.73, an interesting development from there, one of the many triple Rs in the set. And it seems to me that this is simply in response to the many ways that you can now play Premium OTT. We've now seen some topping lists with the Premium Collection out in Japan, and just the ability to look at your deck even more times than previously is deemed helpful. We've seen some Ichimegas decks that play CEO Matarasu. We've seen Imperial Daughter. We've seen Pentagonal Magus. Or Hexagonal Magus, I should say, sorry, take front and center. And so options, especially particularly old options that do the specific things that OTT wants to do, will be particularly helpful here, and Coco is, of course, one of those. Barkle from the same set is another card to watch, just to see how Royals does with their new Knight of Twin Swords retrain. However, he's been sitting at around 484 for a good while. Coco was 873, by the way. Barkle at a 484, that's about normal. He was at $2 pretty much before the real rise of Premium, before we start getting some real sets in here, so he is still up there, but coming down from his 5 to 6 pedestal at the time. And from there, I'm going to move on to BT03. The card we're going to be looking at is Demon World Marquis Amon, the triple R version. He was up there for a good while, a good $10 or $12, until just recently when he dropped to 5. People thought that Legion might be a good option to play with the new Gastile Stride. However, while we did see that Legion does work well with Gastile, you don't actually need to find the mate to get the full usefulness. It's more about putting triggers back into deck, stacking things up. And that's really what we're going for here. You can do that multiple times, just constantly put triggers back in your deck, as well as use some of the Grade 3 Legion pieces skills. So whether you go with the Amon variation or the Psychic of Storms, it seems that regular Amon, the Legion mate, isn't needed, and so he's dropped back down to pretty historic levels, honestly. We haven't seen him this low in quite some time. Now in BT07 land, you may be well aware that Purple Trapezist got bought out pretty recently and is now sitting at $15. $15 for this rare, and actually I believe the promo is $50. If that is still the case. It certainly was only a week or two ago. This card, naturally seeing play in Pale Moon, any kind of premium Pale Moon, this card will almost always have a spot, especially with some of the crazy combos you can pull off. So I wouldn't expect this card to go down anytime soon. However, if you have any copies yourself, I recommend selling them now, as this was pretty much the max value, and Pale Moon always gets a bit of excitement right around the time of a new meta. However, it usually falls off if it doesn't prove to be entirely oppressive, and that's almost never been the case. And other news in BT07, Yellow Bolt is $12. He never quite recovered. He got up to 8 or 10 at one point. This might be a small increase, or might be in response to more copies becoming available. However, this card does pretty much what I mentioned about Battle Sister Coco earlier. It's an excellent choice for just doing what the clan needs, and if you're looking for that one enigmatic assassin, it never hurts to have this card. Same with Free Traveler, who is $365. Thankfully, these cards have come down from their all-time highs, so if you still need them, now may be about as good as you can hope for in terms of buying prices. Fun fact, a Raider Kiter Dragonic Descendant from BT10 has gone from $3 to $4.40, so enjoy that. You've got a small price increase to finally get rid of those annoying BT10 Descendants, should you still be holding on to any for any particular reason. Moving on to BT11, If anyone thought about playing Ripples again, you might be a bit sad to know that Thundering Ripple Genovius, the Grade 3, is $9.64, with the SP actually being $40. That's pretty funny to me. Ripples, you never know how well they're going to do, but they're certainly probably not going to return to their former glory as a Grade 2 rush deck, since that ruling, or that the ability to abuse your opponent's stride deck hasn't been in effect since Premium became a format, and you can now stride, assuming you've been on Grade 3 for at least one turn, or if you're Gold Paladins, you can stride whenever you want, apparently. So, no worries from a Grade 2 Ripple deck. However, you never know what Aquaforce is going to get and how they want to rush you early. However, prices don't necessarily reflect card utility. It's just, what people decide to buy and sell. And speaking of people wanting to sell, Candle Celestial Sariel, the single R, has been sitting at $18 for pretty much forever. It's been a good while since this card skyrocketed, and it's still up there. Do be aware that if you're trying to build angels, especially in Premium, this might be one of the hurdles you have to get over, as this card still certainly does see play. Now, we've been seeing some interesting tidbits in the later BT sets, and I'll start with BT12 to kind of set this up for you. Silverthorn Dragon Queen Lugia Reverse, seeing a $4 increase from $4.99 to $8.99, and I would wager this is in response to the BT15 price increase of Omega Glendios. He is now $18.78, and Freeze Ray Dragon has made a notable jump up to $4.47. So with this all in mind, not only are people looking into Glendios again, but Misdirection from this set is also at $5.38. So several Pale Moon cards on their way up. I haven't seen any Lugia deck lists recently. However, it may just be all a chain to each other. If you buy Glendios, you need reverse units. If you buy reverse units, people start looking at those clans and pick up good cards. So, do be aware that if you need any really old Pale Moon stuff, now's looking like not a fantastic time. But Glendios is an interesting buy. And if Keith were here, he would tell you that you can never discount what lengths people will go to play auto-win decks. Bushiroad can make them really good. Bushiroad can make them bad. But just as we've seen with Exodia and Yu-Gi-Oh!, even when it's bad, people are still going to try and make it work in the most hilarious ways. Speaking of BT15, we have had a buyout of Dragonic Overlord the Rebirth. This is a clear play at not only picking up a card with few copies available, but also in response to the discard turbo variation of Nubatama that's been going around Premium, and particularly because people want to play Premium Kagero. The Rebirth is a 2-of tech that you like to play when Nubatama tries to take over units or bring down your hand with Rene. The Rebirth doesn't give Rene the extra attack on your Vanguard because it has the Lord skill, and that's why it's played. It's one of the, I believe it's the only Kagero that actually features Lord. So, do bear that in mind. It also, works with Overlord units, and that is very nice for, whatever Overlord deck you decide to play. Moving on to the GBT01 and older series, or farther on, I should say. The cross has actually come down from 16 to 14, so a little bit of hype lost, but that could just be that people, put their cards up and trying to undercut each other. People are still looking at the Legion possibilities, and for good reason. It is still very possible that this deck could run wild. Dragonic Overlord, the Cross SP, is down to 40 from its 51, so if you wanted to pick those up, I can't promise they'll look great because they're still the old SP variants that just have different foiling, but be my guest. Absolutely. Moving on to GBT02, we talked about Rain Elemental Tier 2 weeks ago as being a $7.48 card. He is now at $3.42, much more reasonable if you need to pick that up. So I advise that you do so. Also, Crayon Tiger has come down to $13.52, down from his larger price tag a few weeks ago, about a month ago actually. So Crayon Tiger, you still need this card. It's still very good. That's all I'm going to say about that. You've heard my speech time and time again. In GBT04, Intimidating Mutant Darkface SP is now $36. People have been looking more at the Dark Face Triple R, and that evidence is still his price at $15. A bit down from $16, much more up than his even previous price of $7, so he's still sitting at nice and double. If you haven't gotten rid of those yet, do so. And Holy Seraph Raphael taking a tumble from 20 to 773. That is the big news, particularly since we now know that Raphael Mitra does not need another Raphael, and it's also still quite slow at that. So with all that in mind, let's move on to GBT05. Kamu Susano is the big news of the week. He has been bought out up to $11. Enjoy your $11 Kamu Susanos. If you still have these, dump them right now. Right over in GBT07, Golden Beast Slammy Flare, the SP version, has been bought out as well. Now sitting in a lofty $27. Only 10 more than its current price of $16 in the double R variant. It's still quite a bit for a double R you could easily pull. However, this is again an increase from its $15 price tag. People are excited about this. And speaking of excitement, people have been noticing Gastiel's tops. One notable top in particular that was playing Legion. And in GBT08, one Stevenson Charlotte has jumped from $11.30 to $25.75. And again, this is a major increase from its $10.54 price of 2 weeks ago. If you have these, and some of you definitely still do, sell them. This is the biggest price increase DI is going to see outside of the super old foils that do basically nothing except the one skill you need. So, get rid of your Charots. Next up, we have our favorite GBT10. And looking at this, I can tell you that Heat Elemental Bobo has finally stabilized at 345. I feel like that's where the good Cray Elemental should sit, is, get your single rares for the 345. I'm perfectly fine with that. Do apologize for that sound in the background. I am doing laundry. Great Emperor Dragon Gaia Dynast from good old Tachikaze has actually gone from $5 to $17. That is actually a major jump for them. There was some chatter about this buyout, before this episode aired. So, do be advised that if there was a time to sell off some Tachikaze stuff, it would be now. You don't need me to tell you, though. You probably already know. And Kachiwal has the stand trigger for Nova Grapplers has gone up about $1 to $3.45. Victor has been doing extremely well, just as predicted. So sell these commons while you can. That's my advice to you. Ziegenberg in GBT11 has seen a slight increase of $2 from $13 to $15. The Goddess Investigation Ishtar SPs are up to 31 now. That's very good news for anyone who has those. Keith, cough. Few copies are becoming available for that. They're getting bought up. Again, apologies for any sounds you can hear in the background. It is a great time to sell those. I know I'll be trying. And that about does it for our GBs. Now into GEBs. If you don't have your Evil Governor Dark-Faced Ghidorahs, you're probably feeling a little bit sad right now. The triple Rs, rather, have jumped from 14 to 26. People are excited about Meg Colony. I have seen some lists. They look great. Oh, excuse me. There is an update on GBT14. Rene is still $10. This is an important update. Usually I don't report prices that stay the same. But look into your Renes. If you want to play Discard Turbo, this is a good card to have. In fact, it's the main card that you need because most everything else has been either reprinted or is still fairly easy to get or cheap. Get your Renes. They're the most expensive card, and if this card continues to do well, I see it going up by a lot. Get your Renes if you want them. $10 is perfectly fair. Oh, goodness. Back in EBO3, I'm talking about the original EBO3. We're a little bit all over the place today. That's apologies for that. Jelly Beans has gone up to $9. Sometimes you'll see this card come up now and again, but he does allow you to search for, certain cards that you need. He's kind of like an old Gancelot, if you will. And so this card often pops up as Tex, and with Spike Brothers, the potential to re-emerge in Premium is very high now that they have some staying power in an otherwise very turbulent, very quick meta. I'm not surprised that some old tech cards are popping up. Mecha Trainer is probably on his way up as well, so do be advised about that. In EBO7, Stellar Magus, the original, is up to $24. That is a great sell if you have any lying around. I'm going to check my stock immediately after this show. In EBO9, the original Cruel Dragon is now $10. Ooh, that's a great sell. And if you have any SPs of that, those are a nice $53. People are looking at tech. Tech is hot at the moment. If you have any tech cards and you know you have them, if they're not one of the ones I've listed so far, sit on them and then make your break for it as soon as they go up. We'll have another premium show in 2 weeks. Do be advised, this is going to get spicy. And finally, in GTCB02, our final update for the week, Merciless Mutant Deity Darkface, $15. Darkface stuff is on the rise. If you have any Darkface stuff and you no longer want it, sell it now. This is probably your best chance if I had to guess. So thank you all so much for tuning into this premium update. Again, we're always looking for ways to update and make this show more entertaining, more informative for you guys. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Be sure to check out our sponsor, the Magic Satchel. Not only does he give me these lists to tell you what to update on, he's always looking to help out the community and give you guys the best deals on cards. Case splits, whole cases, individual cards, anything you need. Check out the Magic Satchel. This has been the Doomberry Griffin with your premium update. Thank you for watching. Peace.